This is a quick tip I'm going to show you about dealing with animated text and specifically tweening text. And if you've ever tried to make a credit sequence or any type of sequence where it involves tweening a block of text, then one thing you might notice is that some of the lines of text or individual letters will shake up and down as they're moved, and obviously you don't want this to happen, and luckily there's an easy fix for this. And to show you, I'm just going to make some example text. I'll just copy this so I can make a block of text. Alright, so I'm just going to put it in the center of the screen roughly. And so I'm going to tween this to show you what I mean. So first I'm just going to make it into a movie clip symbol. That'll do fine. And for this example, I'm going to just have the text getting bigger, as if it's moving towards the camera. So I'll just make a classic tween and about 100 frames. So scale it up like this. And so if I test this, you'll notice that there's quite a lot of shaking on individual lines of text, especially around here. And if you're going for an effect where you obviously want the audience to read the text, the last thing you want is for it to become, for it to shake and become, harder to read. But as I mentioned before, there's actually a really easy fix for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to double click the movie clip to go inside it. Select your text, and you just have to go to modify, break apart. If you do this once, it makes each individual character have its own text box, and then you just go modify and break apart again. And what it does, it converts it back down to basically the graphics you would use when just making any sort of shape in Flash, this sort of Flash ink, as it were. That's what I call it anyway. It's completely editable, and it's not a symbol anymore. It's not counted as a text box anymore. It's just a graphic now. So if I go back on the scene and test it again, you'll notice that there's no shaking whatsoever, and it's much easier to read. So it's a pretty easy fix. The only thing to keep in mind is, obviously when you break apart the text, the only way to put it back together again is to either undo it or make it again, because obviously you can't edit the text box when it's converted back down to the Flash ink. So just make sure before you do the solution that you are happy with everything in the text box and you haven't made any spelling mistakes or anything like that. Alright, so I hope you found this tip useful, and if you want to see more like this, please subscribe.